You see, Laura kept an extra key in her office. I'd asked Diana to meet me in a restaurant. I wanted to have it out with her once and for all. You know, she thought she was in love with me. She started to get hysterical. We had to leave. Well, I couldn't very well take her to her room in Newark, could I? Or to my hotel room. So we started to walk. It began to rain suddenly, and we got drenched. I thought of the key, and I stopped by the office to get it. We couldn't find a taxi, and so we walked back to Laura's apartment.
Yeah?
Diana went to Laura's bedroom. When she came out, she had on a dressing gown. Well, we talked, argued maybe, for a couple of hours, and then the doorbell rang.
Why didn't you go to the door?
Well, suppose one of Laura's friends had found me there.
What would they think of finding Diana there?
I told her to say that Laura had lent her the apartment. Anybody who knew Laura would have believed that.
Don't stop.
Well, I heard Diana open the door, and then there was an awful explosion. By the time I reached her, the door was shut again. Diana just lay there on the floor.
Didn't you go out to see who did it?
I was too confused, too horrified to do anything. The hallway was dark. I don't remember what I did. I knew I had to keep out of it and keep Laura out of it, too. The only thing on my mind was the safety of a person whose life was dearer to me than my own. Don't you understand that?
Did you think Laura had killed her? Did you?
I don't remember what I thought.
Do you think so now?
No.
On Saturday, when Detective Crane went to see you, you seemed sincerely shocked.
I was. I hadn't expected the police to mistake Diana's body for Laura's.
But your alibi was all ready. The concert. You knew the minute Laura got back to town, it wouldn't stick.
I couldn't think that far ahead. I was groping for some way to keep Laura's name out of it. I was heartbroken about Diana and panic-stricken about Laura.
Okay. And tonight you met Laura in front of her office. What did you talk about?
About what I've just told you. Well, what are you turning on the radio for?
To see if it works. Why don't you tell her the truth? She sent you here to get rid of that gun.
She doesn't even know I came here. It was my own idea.
The radio works fine, doesn't it?
Well, why wouldn't it?
I hoped it wouldn't. All right. We're driving back to New York.
Well, am I under arrest?
I don't know. Just don't leave town. It would be a very foolish thing to do.
Oh, good morning, Lieutenant.
Good morning. You know, I have a terrific yen to call you Laura. Why don't you forget that lieutenant business and just call me Mark?
Because
Especially since I brought you all these groceries. Breakfast. You didn't buy any food when you went out last night.
So you know.
Yeah. I can fix bacon and eggs. Can you make coffee? Oh, I spoke to Bessie. She'll be a little late. When I told her you were alive, she darn near passed out.
Yes, she phoned. Might have been a little more delicate about it. Suppose you set the table, but we'll have to wait a little while for the coffee.
I've asked Paul Lydecker to stop by.
Did you tell him about me, that I'm alive?
No.
Why not? It's brutal.
I'm not doing it for laughs. Why did you break your promise last night?
Not to go out? Because I'll never be bound to do anything unless it's of my own free will.
The Redfern girl was in love with Carpenter. You admitted that.
I also told you he wasn't in love with her. Paul?
I don't know. Just sit still in here.
Hello, Lieutenant. Laura? Oh, good morning, darling.
Hello, dear.
Well, excuse me, Lieutenant. I'd like to kiss my fiancée good morning.
Oh, so it's on again.
Do I have to get a police permit? So now who?
Come in, Lydecker. The door's unlatched.
Lydecker, huh? Right on my heels.
Well, McPherson, have you thought over the deal I suggested? What about the portrait and the... Why?
Paul!
Laura.
Paul!
I'll be all right in a moment. Laura, what?
Not now, dear. Don't try to talk now.
Come on, I'll take him into the bedroom.
Just be quiet, Paul.
Yes. Yes.
How is he?
He'll be all right. He's lying down.
This is going just a little too far, McPherson. Your methods are vicious.
Must have been a terrible shock to him, seeing me. Poor darling.
Don't tell me you're in love with Lydecker, too.
Stop talking that way to Miss Hunt.
Laura, why do you cover up for a guy like Carpenter? What story did he tell you when you met him last night?
Don't answer him, darling.
Shut up. I've got enough on you, Carpenter, to arrest you right now.
Quick, McPherson, the handcuffs. Trundle him off to the Hooskow.
Paul.
I hope you'll forget my wee touch of angina, my dear. It's an old family custom. Did I interrupt the pinch, McPherson?
I've changed my mind for the moment.
Well, in that case, better order some food and liquor, Laura. People are coming to celebrate your return this afternoon. A cocktail party.
Who asked them?
I did. In the quiet of your boudoir just now. I called my man, and he's calling all our dear friends.
Why did you do that?
Well, perhaps our friends can weave all the loose ends into a noose Eh, McPherson?
You shouldn't have gone to all that trouble, Mr. Lydecker. I'd already called them. Well, I'll run along now, Laura. Sorry about the breakfast. Some other time, maybe.
Shelby, come here.
What's the matter, darling? Your party's a huge success.
Shelby, tell me, I must know. Why did you go to the country last night?
Laura.
Well?
You don't know? I was afraid you wouldn't think of hiding that shotgun.
What shotgun?
The one I gave you. Oh, darling, you don't have to lie to me.
Well, what's going on here?
Oh, nothing at all, Anne.
In case you don't know it, that McPherson man hasn't taken his eyes off you.
I know.
Maybe it would be better if I, mingled with our guests.
Laura, McPherson suspects him, Shelby.
He suspects me, too.
Oh, Sophie, absurd. You could never have done a thing like that. Darling.
Yes.
Are you as interested in Lieutenant McPherson as he is in you?
Anne, I only met him last night.
Sometimes that's more than long enough. Anyway, he's better for you than Shelby. Anybody is. Shelby's better for me.
Why?
Because I can afford him. He's no good, but he's what I...
Wait a minute. He's coming. Mark.
Oh, Mark is it?
I'm sorry to break up your party, Laura.
But you haven't. You've been a model guest so far.
I'm not joking. Get on your things. I'm taking you to headquarters.
I thought I was going to get a cell in a denim dress. Is this your office?
Before they trot out that denim dress, I want to know why you've been holding out on me.
Have I been?
You told me the radio at your country place was broken.
It was.
Not last night.
I stopped in the village on my way back. I asked the local handyman to fix it.
And how did he get in?
With a key. The key I always leave under the flower pot on the porch.
All right, I'll accept that.
Why?
Because you're too intelligent to make up a story I could check so easily. The main thing I want to know is why you pulled that switch about Shelby Carpenter. You told me last night you decided not to marry him. But today it was on again. Why?
I changed my mind.
What went on between you and Carpenter when you met him last night? Or should I guess? He convinced you that if you broke your engagement now, people would think you believed that he killed Diana Redfern.
Yes. But now I know the real reason why he wanted to stay engaged. He thinks I did it. And so do you.
Are you in love with him?
No, I don't know how I ever could have been.
Come on, Laura. You're going home.
But I thought I was under...
That's what I wanted you to think. You and a few other people. I didn't even book you.
And all this was just some sort of a game.
I was 99% certain about you, but I just had to make sure of that 1% doubt.
Wasn't there an easier way to make sure?
You're smiling. You're not sore?
No, Mark. I'm not sore.
Go back to your party, if there's anything left of it.
And you?
I'm going to Lydecker's apartment. I'll drop by later on.
I'm glad they've all gone, Laura. It's been a long time since we've been together. Well, darling, what's the matter?
Nothing, Paul.
You're worried. Yes, McPherson. He's using you for something.
I don't think so.
I don't deny he's infatuated with you in some warped fashion, but he's incapable of any normal human relationship. He's been dealing too long with criminals. When you were unattainable, and he thought you were dead, that's when he wanted you most. Fell in love with your portrait.
He was glad when I came back, as if he were waiting for me.
You know what he calls women? Dames. A dame in Washington Heights once got a fox fur coat out of him. That's his very word.
That doesn't mean anything, Paul. He isn't like that.
Laura, my dear, you have one glaring weakness. With you, a lean, strong body is always the measure of a man. And you always get hurt.
No man is ever going to hurt me again. No, not even you.
I? Hurt you? What? Laura, look at me. You were a long time finding out about Shelby. But that's all over now. We'll be together again.
Wait, the door just opened.
Don't get up. It's only me.
Oh, haven't you heard of science's latest triumph, the doorbell?
I'm glad you're here, Lydecker. I've just been to your apartment.
Do you mind if I search your pockets?
I found a shotgun.
Oh.
But I wasted my time. It wasn't the gun that killed Diana Redfern.
First he tells you he thinks you're innocent, and then he proceeds to check up on you.
I never said you're innocent.
Me? I'm talking about Laura. My dear, this entire maneuver could be a trick to throw you off guard.
It could be, but it isn't.
I know. I believe you, Mark.
See, I'm beginning to get annoyed. Laura, it's the same obvious pattern. If McPherson weren't full of muscles and good looks, in a cheap sort of way, you'd see through him in a second.
Paul, I mean to be as kind about this as I know how. But you're the one following the same obvious pattern. First with that painter you thought was in love with me. Then with Shelby, and now I suppose...
Laura, what are you saying?
That I don't think we should see each other again.
But, darling, you're not yourself.
Yes, I am. For the first time in ages, I know what I'm doing.
Very well. I hope you'll never regret what promises to be a disgustingly earthy relationship. Oh, listen to my broadcast in 10 minutes. I'm discussing the other great loves of history.
That was the most difficult thing I've had to do in my whole life.
Yeah, but I still haven't found it. I haven't found it.
What?
The gun that killed Diana Redfern.
What are you doing?
Taking a look at your clock. He's got one just like it, hasn't he?
Yes, but...
I wasn't alone just now in Lydecker's apartment. A guy named Sergeant Crane came with me. Crane's old man is a clockmaker. And while I wore myself out looking for a shotgun, all the sergeant did was drool about Lydecker's clock.